but the youth I'm just so passionate about because they are in a season of their life where they need poured into. They need great mentors. They need great influence in their life.
And dealing with things much different than any other generation before us ever have.
Absolutely.
And so it is so much needed. And that is so apparent in every meeting that we've had. And they're hungry for it because they keep returning.
Yes.
Welcome to the J.C. Barnett podcast, where we bring you real conversations about community, leadership, faith, and empowering the next generation. I'm your host, J.C. Barnett, and together we'll explore stories that inspire growth in life. Today's episode is proudly supported by J.C. Barnett School of Jump Shooting, the Lady Stars Basketball Organization, and J.C. Barnett Jr., investing in young people and leaders to reach their full potential. Let's get right into it. This is a special one. My wife, Miss Brenda Barnett. How are you, honey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. I appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you today and have a conversation. You're an extraordinary woman. We've been married for 12 years, and over that time, we both have grown a tremendous amount, both in just who we are as people, as parents, as people of faith. We've grown in our faith, and now we've come to a place in our lives where we're able to share and extend just who we are in Christ with other people, and especially with young people. First, I'd love to give our audience just an opportunity to know who you are. Are you able to share a little bit of that?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin. I didn't really grow up there. We moved early on when I was young to Indiana area due to job situation at the time. And so I really grew up in Peru, Indiana, which I had grown to love. It's a small town, and it was just fitting for us. My mom was a single mom of three, and Wisconsin, Chicago area was very fast paced. Didn't know that then as a kid. But so I'm just thankful now that my mom made that move, and it just worked out that way, Lord willing, that we grew up in a small town. So.
Yeah. You felt like that was, for you and your siblings, the best situation for you guys.
Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
That's good. So, okay, you grew up in Peru, and you made your way to Kokomo about what time frame?
It was about my sophomore year of high school. I'm the youngest of three, so my older siblings had graduated and moved out, and I was really passionate about sports at the time. And so my mom was a huge supporter of everything that I did. I was a great student and athlete, but most importantly student. So I think that's why my mom was willing to uproot us from Peru to Kokomo, because I wanted to pursue a higher level of the game, basically. So she did. She uprooted us and moved us to Kokomo, and I had been there since.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so in all this time, you have graduated high school. You have pursued higher education and are a graduate of Indiana University, Kokomo. And in the last 12 years, we together have grown a family, and we now all together have 4 kids.
Yes.
And so it's just been a great life together. Many hardships, many trials, many tribulations. Between you and I, there are still moments of growth between the two of us. But what has, even before we grew in our faith, there was still an element of faith there that really brought us through some tough times. And now that we're stronger in our faith, we can look back on that and really kind of just be more grateful and thankful, because what we know now is that we needed the Lord more than we ever knew.
Right.
And now that we are pursuing the Lord with all of our hearts now, it's just a great place to be. You have any thoughts or perspective on that now?
Yeah, I just was going to comment and say that looking back on those earlier times where we were having some really difficult times, that even just that mustard seed of faith that we had, so looking back and just that little bit of faith that we had that took us through those heavy struggles to now. And I see it, and yes, like you said, just very thankful and grateful that now that our faith has grown even closer to the Lord, we're able to maneuver those struggles a little bit differently. And I feel that, I sense it, and I'm just like, it's different. It's a different place to be, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. You mentioned that as a student, you were very talented. You're a talented athlete. But now as a mom and more mature in life, you wear many hats. You're a mom, you're a photographer, you have your own cleaning business, you're a youth advocate. How does your journey lead to all of these things, and how are you able to find a way to operate and navigate now?
Well, I love being able to answer that question now as an adult, looking back at who I was as a child and now being so strong in my faith. I feel like it was part of God's plan all along, because I've, looking back at my childhood, I've always have had a heart for people. I've always wanted to be around people, and I've always wanted to help people. But ultimately that stemmed from my mother. She's a huge impact and influence in my life, and she knew the Lord, and she made sure that we were at church and we were praying, and at the time as a kid, I didn't know I knew who Jesus was. I didn't know the extent of what that really meant.
How he was really playing a role in your life.
Yes, exactly. And so now looking back, I'm like, wow, like this was part of his plan all along for me. And so just always having a heart for people has just now followed through my adulthood. And so I have a passion for people and to help people. And so with the photography and with the cleaning business, as a mother, I was a stay-at-home mom for several years. And it was coming up to the time where I knew that there was more for me. There was more for me. But in that season, I was very grateful. Very hard things at that time too. But there came a time where I knew that there was more. And so the strategy for me was to try to find something that I was passionate about, but that also was a great service to people as well. In a high demand. Photography. People love getting their pictures taken, and I love taking them. And people love having their homes cleaned. For different reasons, whether it's the elderly or whether it's people on the go, whether it's mom who have their hands full, their busy schedules. People are always needing that.
That is really a life-saving service.
Yes.
And for you to have, gone full on head on into being able to provide that, I think you've realized just how amazingly life-changing that is for people. And that just falls right in line with just who you are as a person in reference to wanting to help build people up, speaking an encouraging word into their lives, maybe probably moments that I've never been able to witness, but that you've been able to engage people in those moments of service and in work, been able to pour into them and speak words of encouragement to them. Am I far off on that? Or?
That's absolutely right. I think that's the most important for me, that, and I share this with the ladies that I'm in group with all the time, that God has given us so many opportunities, especially for us women who are in this room, speaking to them at that moment, who are in a job where they are around people all the time. Like, I know for some people that's not the ideal thing, but for me that is. Like, I want to be around people so that I can make an impact through the Lord. So for me, it's just been, a win-win.
You have done some incredible work at the Carver Community Center. And for those who aren't aware of the fact that I'm the executive director of Carver Community Center, my wife and I have partnered on a youth group that operates every other Monday in that space there. But this was a thought that you've had. I'm not exactly sure how long before it actually came to fruition, but you just knew that you had to take the opportunity to pour into young people, to give them an encouraging word, to feed them, and also feed them the word of God.
Right.
Yeah. What has that experience been like in the last several months since that program has begun?
I mean, we started, I think, in the beginning of June, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And from the very beginning, it has been so fulfilling to be able to act in obedience to what God has called me to do. And first and foremost, I will say that when you're called to do something, it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like all these things are sacrifices. And time frame, there's other things that I have going on. There's other groups and things, but the youth, I'm just so passionate about because they are in a season of their life where they need poured into.
Yeah.
They need great mentors. They need great influence in their life.
And dealing with things much different than any other generation before us ever have.
Absolutely.
And so it is so much needed. And that is so apparent in every meeting that we've had. And they're hungry for it because they keep returning.
Yes, and they're hungry for it. I think one of the greatest things to look back on for me with just the few months that we've been doing this is the very first night I had a box where, the kids could come after the session and they could share either a question or comment they had, because we go over different things, but we try to keep it very simple that everybody can understand it. But the very first night, one of the young ladies had left a note card asking, how do I start a relationship with Christ? And that was like confirmation from the very first night we had that. So that was like a huge confirmation for me that this is exactly where he has called me to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your responsibilities as a mother, you have every opportunity to be the example for, we have 2 sons who are older. One's 17, Solomon 17, JC is 12, Jovi is 10, Ava is 6.
Yes.
And so for our girls particularly, you're a tremendous example for them.
Thank you.
And how do you find yourself, what intentionality do you have behind showing them who you can be as a strong woman and a strong woman of God?
I think that has already, for me, has showed in witnessing them in their everyday lives. That's what kind of brings me peace about where our family is as a whole with spiritually. Which has kind of made me comfortable to then go out and be that for other kids. Because I see my daughters and how much God has pulled them out of struggles and battles, like heavy mental battles. And now they're reminding me, if I'm like kind of getting a little like flustered a little bit, like, Mom, have you prayed? Have you prayed about it? So that is like, just shows me that they're absorbing what we're teaching in the home and what they're seeing and being impacted. And
that's very meaningful too, because particularly with my son, who I'm seeing so much on a regular basis now, I won't divulge too much, but there is a history even in myself of anxiety.
Right.
And so these are some of the things that a couple of our children have had to deal with, and it's impacted them in a number of different ways. But in those moments where he's good and I'm not,
right,
and our kids are bold enough to remind us of what we have taught them.
Yeah, right,
and it's
exactly.
Such a proud moment.
Yeah.
When those things happen, it's like, well, what are you trying to tell me in that moment? But when I really sit down and think about it, it's a very proud moment, because I can just imagine how he's going to be when he's a dad.
Right.
And so, and as you can imagine, I can imagine how you see that response and how our daughters are going to be great mothers one day.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you mentioned that you were a photographer. You love to capture those moments with individuals, with families. What is it about photography and being behind that camera and capturing special moments? What really just makes that for you?
So also I feel like my mom kind of influenced that, like as we were kids.
Major influence in your life.
Yes, major influence. And it's number one was keeping us in church, like introducing me to Jesus. Like that, I mean, I could never be thankful enough that her father instilled that in her life for her, you know, for then us. So she would always have those wind-up film cameras, throwaways, all the time, taking pictures and having the camcorder recording all the days of, you know, what we're doing. And so now we're still, to this day, she has albums of photos. So like when we're there, we'll be looking through the photo albums and be watching home videos. And so she's always been that way. And maybe I got the love of that from her.
Yeah.
I capture all the time the kids. I have like 90,000 photos in my phone. And it's just something that I love to capture, these moments to look back on. I mean, you know what it's like when we're like looking through old videos, we're just like, oh, like.
I love those videos.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of them because that's exactly how I am. And I must have got that from my mother too, because in the early 90s, I could still have very vivid memories of her holding that big old boombox size camera in the audience of some play that we're doing. I'm the gingerbread man in the 4th grade of our Christmas play. Yeah. And she's out there like this on her shoulder with the camera. But, you know, every moment and opportunity, and she's happy to show them too. Which just really goes to prove how much love you came up with, because she is an incredible woman herself, and that is definitely shining through you. Good examples never go away, and I found that. Her father, Gigi, who we know as Gigi, her dad was a great example for her. She was a great example for you, and now you're being a great example for your kids. And I just think that's tremendously powerful, how we are setting a tone for our future generations within our family bloodline to continue, whether that's faith, whether that's a position of faith, position of family, and position of impacting community. Right. And those things are super important to me. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I agree.
Do you have any words of inspiration for our audience today?
I feel like my heart always goes to sharing the Word of God and sharing His message, of how important it is to have a relationship with the Lord. And I mean, I'm a witness to what He can do for us and what He wants to do for us. Yeah. But it starts there. It starts with the relationship with Him, to surrender our old life and to accept His new life that He has for us.
It's a powerful word right there. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate the chance to sit down and talk with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the JC Barnett podcast. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think and live with more intention, and be reminded of the power of your mind, your heart, your faith, and solid support systems. This episode was brought to you by the JC Barnett School of Jump Shooting, the Lady Stars Basketball Organization, and JC Barnett Jr., dedicated to helping young people grow in skill, in confidence, and in character. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and join us next time for more stories of empowerment and leadership and life lessons. Until then, I'm JC Barnett. Thanks for tuning in.